Welcome to Comedy Here Off the Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin. This week on the show is the host of the Hate Locker podcast, Dan Duvall. I want us to start this by saying an apology.
Oh, yeah?
Because you know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
Then you're a kind-hearted man. Because I was rude to you one time, and I'll never forget it.
When?
He's a good person.
What are you talking about?
So 604 hosts Hate Locker podcast.
Yes.
That's your podcast with your lovely sister, right?
Yeah. Well, lovely's a strong.
Okay.
Throw that around.
I take back what I said about you being polite.
She's a hateful bitch.
Hence the name of the podcast.
Yeah.
And you were asking me kind of if 604 would more or less host it. And you caught me in a bad moment, and so many people were asking me to produce their podcast, which basically means I film it, I record it, I edit it, I mix it, and they just host it. And
right.
And you caught me in a bad time, and I was like, what do you want, Dan Duvall?
Oh, that's really funny. I get how you...
I didn't understand what you were asking, and so I was being short with you, and I'm apologize.
I accept your apology. There it is.
See that?
You saw it.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Yeah.
You guys shake.
Yeah.
Right on. Thanks. We're off to a good start. We've apologized. We've moved on. I didn't even take it as. I just took it as you're probably busy, and I took it how you said everything, but I wasn't offended. I was like, oh yeah, dude's probably super busy. Like I was sheepishly being like, hey, do you want to host us? Because but I assumed that we were in. I always assume whenever I'm asking anyone for anything that I'm inconveniencing them.
Oh, dang!
Because that's how my brain is wired. Like every sentence is like, hey man, what's up? How are you? Sorry, you know what I mean? It's like built in. Hey, sorry that I exist. Sorry for me.
You're like Dave Harris. You're talking about Dave Harris.
Sorry.
Sorry.
That's good.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's funny.
I was breathing. Sorry.
It's getting roasted. Dave Harris is getting.
I don't even know him, so it's not very nice. I don't even know.
We love you.
I think he's really funny. I saw him here at the show here.
Oh yeah,
the Christmas show. I'd never seen him do stand-up before. I'm like, oh my god, who is this adorable man? This is so good. It was really fun. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I can imitate him. But
yeah, it sounded great.
I mean it with great respect.
Yeah, and he would love it.
Good. So yeah, I just assumed that I was bothering.
Oh
beforehand, but I thought that before I even asked.
Man.
So don't sweat it. It's okay. We can move forward.
Okay.
Now you are hosting us.
I know.
So it works out.
I made it okay, but I was just, dude. So many people don't know what goes into doing these.
Yeah.
Like Alexi's so fucking busy. Like she records and films and edits most of the podcasts except Hate Locker. And so when I was talking to him, I'm like, you film it yourself, you record it yourself, and we'll put it up. I don't want any more on her plate.
That was exactly, then I was like, well, we already do that anyway.
Great.
So, well, it was sort of the people we were with before kind of did all that stuff, but it was also like, I think they were also really busy, so it was just not a priority. It was not a priority for them.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it was like, the episodes would come out like just sort of whenever they were supposed to come out.
Okay.
Is this in the way of the camera?
I
feel like it
looks great.
It looks like it's like right at this microphone. Yeah. So anyway. Okay.
But
there we go.
But yeah, I feel like I was a little rough on you, and you're a sweet man.
We cool.
And you deserve only the best.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
I'm learning that. I'm trying to teach myself.
You deserve it.
You know. Yeah. That's good.
I think you and I have talked a little bit about like rough things you've been through, and I feel like you've come out the other end just being like appreciative. And most people don't. Most people just feel sorry for themselves. So I think that's a wonderful quality. I'm just gonna compliment him for an hour.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very good. Yeah,
let's get this self-esteem up.
Yeah, I need a fur scarf. I don't know why, but I feel like
the next episode is like an ego intervention for Dan. It's okay, it went too far. Let's bring him down a few pegs. I yell at you again.
It's too big.
Yeah, no, most definitely. No, I feel like I felt sorry for myself before. Well, I guess I should explain what we're talking about. I think here is that like I'm a sober person.
Yeah.
So I've been a sober person for 2 years.
Okay.
As a couple couple weeks ago.
Congratulations.
So thank you. Yeah.
Congrats.
It's been a hell of a ride. I feel like I felt sorry for myself about everything before I got sober.
Yeah.
And now I don't.
Yeah.
Now I kind of tend to more take responsibility for when things go wrong. And
Yeah.
things roll off more than they once did.
Yeah.
Before. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I think another addiction is being treating yourself well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's like when you're on a roll and you're like doing things to improve your situation, that can become addictive.
Right.
So it's and I think feeling sorry for yourself can be addictive too.
Yes.
Because it's easy and
Yeah.
it kind of feels good.
Yeah. It's
to like be sad and like, you know, stoke that fire.
Well, it's just escaping. It's
Yeah.
just another form of escaping, like, what the truth is.
Yeah.
Which is, like, what addiction is to begin with. Like, that's why, I mean, we get to the point where we're using drugs and living in the park. I just walked past it as a tent city. You know what I mean? All that stems from just people trying to escape their own feelings.
Yeah.
That's what all that stuff is. And me feeling sorry for myself is, like, a nice little, like, no, I don't have to do that because it's not my fault. Everybody feel bad for me.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's what that is. I didn't mean for this to be a TED Talk.
No, I love it. I love it, dude. I love it. I needed it.
We're off to a hot start.
I started it by apologizing to
Yeah.
you. And now look at us.
This is all very Canadian. yeah, it's good.
No, but I'm glad you accept my apology. I'm glad you're doing well.
Yeah, me
Your
too.
Twitter account is so fucking funny.
You think so?
Yes. You know it is. Don't
feel
Dave
like-
Harris me.
I feel like, what? I don't even, that's someone else's account. I'm sorry, Dave. I will meet you in person at some point.
We should have him on.
I'll apologize to him. You just keep the train going, then
He'll
he can
apologize.
say he can say something shitty about like Steve McMath or something. You can have him on here, and then Steve won't apologize to anybody.
Nope.
Anyway, we follow each other on Twitter. We follow each other on Twitter for a while.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't do Twitter as aggressively as I once did.
Okay.
I don't use it as much.
Like you have less ideas for tweets, or it's just not a priority like it once was.
It wasn't. It's not a priority like it once was.
Okay.
But maybe those things go hand in hand. I'm really not sure. Like,
Okay.
but I used to do it. Like when I first got into Twitter, I would do it. I would like tweet minimum like 5 times a day.
Whoa.
I would I would sit down like offline IRL, if you will. And just
heard of
like
that.
write jokes. This
Yeah.
is before I did stand up.
Yeah.
Ever. Like when I feel like this was in 2009, I think.
Wow.
And so I'll start from the beginning. Like, so I would always be on Facebook writing like funny Facebook statuses when they all started with "is." Do you know what I mean? Like in those days, and this girl I went to high school with, I went to this party, and she's like, "You're really funny on Facebook." She's like, "You should do Twitter." She's like, "You should write jokes on Twitter." I was like, "I don't want to do that."
Yeah.
Twitter is stupid. Twitter is just like, I went to the grocery store today.
Yeah.
Like that's what
Yeah.
I thought Twitter. I didn't even know what it was at the time. I didn't
Yeah.
understand, and then so I just kind of forgot about it. And then I feel like it was a few months later. I was really hungover. I was watching Sports Center with my roommate, and we were both hungover. And I was like, I'm gonna start a Twitter account. I'm gonna follow hockey analysts for my fantasy hockey league, get the edge. You know what I mean? And so I did. And then I got on there, and I'm like, oh man, I'm like, people are writing jokes on here. I understood what that her name was Susan Melville. That was her name.
Shout out Susan Melville.
Shout out Susan Melville.
Shout out Dave Harris.
Yeah, R.I.P. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I have no idea if she's alive or dead. I have no idea. But just in case she is, we got that covered.
Yeah.
So
Dave's still alive, I think.
Dave is alive.
Yeah.
Killing it. So anyway, I saw people writing jokes, and I'm like, oh, this is what she meant. I'm like, I could do this. I think Rob Delaney was like the first account I saw who was like, oh my god, this guy is so funny. And I remember the first tweet I ever saw on there that made me laugh was his tweet, and I think it was the first one I saw, but it said, man, Chinese babies must be like fuck when they find out they have to learn Chinese. Which is like super funny. That's the first tweet I remember seeing and being like, oh damn, this is good. And then so I just started doing it, and then I just started writing jokes on there, and it was 2009, so a lot of them I'm sure were like very problematic. It was
You're
a
about to
different
get
time.
Kevin Hart, and you're never going to host Oscars.
I'm never hosting the Oscars, for sure not. Anyway, I started writing them, and the first one I ever wrote that kind of blew up was one that said, my dad went out for cigarettes 10 years ago. They must be training a new guy at 7-Eleven. My dad's so patient and great. Hurry home, you big lug. The first tweet I ever wrote that like kind of went like got a lot of likes and stuff, and then so people started retweeting me, and then my account started like to grow, and then it just kept growing and growing, and it turned into this whole other thing. And I'm like, holy shit, this is like kind of legit.
It's tangible.
Started getting shout outs and like started getting followed by people in comedy and stuff, and it turned into this whole other thing, and I ended up getting like tens of thousands of followers, and then and then I got so I'm just kind of going into
I want this.
Yeah, all right.
I want this is what I just said. We want this.
So what happened is there's a guy messaged me on, I put my email in there for writing bookings, and this guy emailed me and said, hello, I work for an advertising company. I need to write a jingle for a personal lubricant company. If you think this is a joke, this is my phone number. Please call me. And I'm like, this has got to be a joke. So I called him, and it was not a joke. It was real. It was this guy. His name was Jeff Lowe, and he is a director, and he directs commercials. And he was working at the time for two companies, Biscuit Filmworks in the UK and Wyden Kennedy, which is like a worldwide ad agency. He was working out of their New York office, and I wrote this jingle for this ad company.
Wow.
And then I did a whole bunch more work with him. We ended up doing commercials for Carl's Jr. and Heineken, and like.
Are you're musical?
No. None of it was. Only the first thing. I just wrote some lyrics for a jingle. The rest of it was just like ad copy.
Okay.
And like ideas for like whole ideas for ads and stuff like that.
Wow.
And so I did a whole bunch of stuff with him. My favorite. This is my weirdest flex. That I have for advertising. It's super fun. You know Hall's candies?
Yeah.
When you open up the wrapper and they have little, I don't know if you've even noticed, but they have little words of encouragement on them.
They
I wrote
do?
those.
What?
So all the words of encouragement on the Hall's wrappers.
No way.
I wrote those. They're like, you can do it. Like, do your best. Like all those things. Yeah.
I guess that's when you need a pick-me-up is when you need a Halls.
Yeah. Like the whole thing is like, you can do it. Like you're sick, but you can do it. That was their whole thing. They had an ad campaign with, there was tough love and like love. And I forget the actor's name of the guy who plays Dr. Cox on Scrubs. What's his name? John something.
John.
You know what I'm talking?
Oh yeah, from Office Space.
Yes. Yeah. So he.
John McGinley.
Yeah. John C. McGinley. That's it. Yes. So he was. Take that, Google. Oh my God, that's so good.
Anyway.
Like I own.
Sorry, what about him?
Everything about you, I can crush you. So yeah, he was in the ad campaign. It was like tough love. So I worked on that campaign. So they had, at the time, they were like, we just need like pages of like one-liner little quotes, and I didn't even know what they were for. And then one day I like got a Halls. I'm like, oh my God, that's what these were for. What the fuck? And that was years ago, but they still do it. If they're still on there, that was many years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, so I started working in advertising in that in that, but it never really moved into anything stable. It was just sort of side work that I did, mostly because I was drunk all the time. Like I was a pretty messy person.
That was your main vice? Drinking?
Yes, drinking.
Was it beer?
Anything.
Okay.
Anything I could get my hands on.
Was that...
Drinking, and like I didn't turn down any kind of party though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's drugs and alcohol.
They're all great, let's be honest.
Yes.
I saw that you lost a lot of weight. Was it like alcohol weight?
Yeah, and also like I ate really badly because I would like stay up for days drinking and partying, and then when you don't, it's true you don't really eat while you're doing that, but when you come out the other side, I'm not going to get a salad, you know what I mean? I'm going to KFC.
You probably got free Carl's Jr. too.
I didn't.
I didn't
get any, no. Well, we don't
Dude, what's up with that? Because my band has a song in an Apple Watch commercial.
Yeah.
I don't see any.
They didn't give you any merch?
Nothing.
Did you ask?
No.
I think you got to ask.
They gave us a lot of money.
You shouldn't have to ask.
Yeah.
But if you do ask, I
think they figured like,
the
we
money.
gave you a lot of money. You just buy it. Just buy your own.
I'm in an ad for money. So we got a ton of merch.
They give you an Apple Watch.
Yeah. They're paying you in Apple products.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. That's probably how they pay their children employees too. Oh, just kidding. I can't say that. I'm not allowed to say that.
I liked where that was going. Yeah, say whatever you want.
Yeah, so yeah, I did. I lost 70 pounds.
Cool.
When I got
cool.
sober.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so impressive. I went, cool.
Yeah.
This is how I lost it.
I lost 70 pounds. I quit
Congratulations.
smoking cigarettes. It's been a crazy last couple of years. I was a round boy.
You stopped smoking cigarettes?
Yeah, I did.
And because that
all of
speeds
it.
up your metabolism.
Yeah, it kind of came after. Like I got sober, and then I was like smoking like 2 packs a day. I couldn't like. Well, I was very round. I was 70 pounds heavier than I am now, and I couldn't like walk up a flight of stairs like using an inhaler. I couldn't sleep through the night. I was like coughing up blood and stuff. It was like I was very unhealthy, like all around.
Well, you look great now.
Yeah, I feel great. Thanks. Yeah. I feel much better, and the addiction comes out in other ways. Like I got 23 tattoos this year.
Awesome.
So like I didn't have any before.
Yeah.
This started. So whoops.
No, that's good. It's a lovely way to. And you need something to look forward to.
Yeah, a little something. You need a little something. I also always wanted. I've always had lots of ideas for tattoos. I just never could afford them. So I was always spending money on
Partying,
booze, just crushing nose beers. Now I have all this money for them. It's better. I can afford them now. It's good. Yeah. Plus, my girlfriend's a tattoo artist. So
she is.
Doesn't hurt. Yes,
that's lovely.
Yeah. So she did this giraffe on roller skates. Here.
I love it.
Janine Girafalo, I call her.
That's amazing.
It's not my name. I didn't make it up.
This is Kat Von 3.
Yes. Oh, very good. Yes. Very good. Yes. It's very good. I'm a fan of your tattoos as well.
Thank you, buddy. Likewise.
So I ended up. So I worked in that advertising for a while, but I still had my day job as well. I was a pharmacy technician.
Please tell me some stories. You must have some fucked up stories.
From working in the pharmacy.
Yeah,
man. I worked in like an inner city like methadone pharmacy for like 2 decades.
Wow.
Seen some things. I saw a guy get jerked off at the counter one time.
Against his will?
No. He was into it. I think he paid money for it.
Really?
Yeah.
And he's like, I like to multitask. I like to get my drugs and my prostitution situation out of the way.
I saw a guy lit himself. This is just after.
Wait a
I
second.
left,
Please talk about the jerk off thing quickly.
There was just 2 people who were. One was a lady of the night, but was working, I guess, overtime because it was the daytime. Okay. And another man was just there getting his daily methadone stuff, and they started talking, and then we noticed that.
Oh, okay.
She was,
servicing him.
She was servicing him he was getting service all. It was like a full serve gas station, for your body. At the pharmacy counter, and the security came out and told them to stop, and then that was it.
And he was like, "Why?"
We didn't really freak out. We've seen so many things. You see so many things. I've had stuff thrown at me. Like what? Also, like a hand sanitizer bottle, took it off the back of the head. I've seen people like hand sanitizer into the little Dixie cups and shoot them like booze. I've seen that happen. A guy right after I left. A guy lit himself on fire at the counter, like full on, like was fully engrossed in flames. Like he was having an episode and he just lit like crazy stuff. I've seen some things. My favorite thing, I think, we had the contract for federal parole in Victoria. So all the parolees would come in, and there was a guy who hadn't been in like a week, and to get his methadone, you get obviously really bad withdrawals. Maybe it wasn't a full week, but he hadn't been in a while, and then we got a call from the parole board, and he'd called into his parole officer and was like, "I'm ready to surrender myself to the police because I want to get my methadone," because obviously he's having a horrible time out there on the streets. Probably ran out of money and couldn't buy any more heroin, so it was like, I gotta get my methadone now. And so they worked it out so that when he came in, we were to call to get his methadone, we would call his parole officer, and which was just down the street, is the halfway house where he was supposed to be living. Okay. They would come up with the police and all meet there and take him to jail. So he came. So it's just a mid-afternoon, like regular day, like in the middle of downtown Victoria, like in the pharmacy. And so they came in. He comes in. We call them. The cops show up with his parole officer. They're all there, and he's there with his buddy. And he takes his juice and he hugs his buddy, and he goes, holds out his hand. He goes, "Now take me to prison." And I turned around and I went, "Goodfellas." And he was like, "Yeah, somebody got it." And I was like, "Oh my God." And he was like, "Right on, man." And then they took him to jail. It was so good because he was literally quoting the movie Goodfellas on purpose, and I caught it. And he was like, "Yeah." And we were like, "Yeah." We had this moment. R.I.P. Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I have no idea. So that's like one of my favorite stories.
Holy.
I really enjoyed that one. So yeah, I've seen some things.
Yeah.
So wouldn't recommend it.
Going to jail or drug addiction?
I've never gone to jail personally. I think I did one night in a drunk tank one time. I was like 19 or something like that.
How was that?
I didn't care for it. Yeah. Not for me. I wouldn't last a day in prison if it was real prison. Like I have like the wrong kind of tattoos. You know what I mean? Like I have a rocket ship.
Yeah, you got cute shit.
I have cute tattoos. Like, look at this eagle's face.
Yeah, I love him.
Oh, it's cute.
His name's Paul.
There's nothing hateful about your tattoos.
No,
you'd
there
be
isn't.
Shitty in prison.
There's really not. I do have O.J. Simpson's Bronco tattooed on my leg.
Really?
Yeah. Here.
Oh my
Wow.
No way.
So
You got that before the crime, though. To be fair.
no.
5 years
Imagine
old.
anyone knew. Yeah, I was like, yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on. There's a few things to unpack here. First of all, I would have been like 8 years old, and nobody knew he had a Bronco until he showed it off to the world. Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks for Ford because that was the best advertisement ever, but also it made them stop selling that particular vehicle.
That's
probably.
a dope Bronco too.
Yeah.
I would be super stoked if I had
Get
it.
away from the
I
cops
loved
in
one
it.
for a while too.
Yeah.
The other tattoo that I like to talk about is my my nephew. Recently, he's 10. Started. He's 11 now, I think. 11 or 10. He started drawing tattoos on his arms with Sharpies.
Cool.
Which I'm like, hell yeah. My sister's like, I fucking hate you. I think it's funny. But he drew an Illuminati pyramid like with an eye, and then wrote Legitness underneath it. And I was like, that is so sick. So I went and got it.
No way.
Yeah, I got that. But he didn't draw this. His was shitty. I'm not going to get his shitty drawing. Maybe if he was dead.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Eventually. We all go. Even the ones we love. But I got that, and then I showed it to him.
This episode is called Legitness.
So, or R.I.P. Legitness. So I showed it to him. I was like, hey, check this out. Like, I was so pumped to show him. I showed him, and he goes, cool. And then just keeps playing video games. Like, you motherfucker, you asshole, I'll fucking kill you.
Dude,
like,
he's
what
at
do you?
that stage.
Dude, check this out. So I have 2 nieces and a nephew, all between the ages of 9 and 12. And so this year, my sisters got all the kids week-long park passes, trips to Disneyland. And so they put the flight passes or whatever. You can get special Disney ones so you can present them to the kids like a gift, So they got those, put their names on them, and then tied them to helium-filled Mickey Mouse balloons.
Yeah.
And they opened the big box, and the balloons floated out, and they didn't give a fuck. They didn't. Everyone was filming them, waiting for their reactions, like to get that sweet reaction vid, like right. And then the kids did not care. My niece was like, again,
Oh no.
and my nephew goes, I thought we were poor. And then the other one goes, I thought we were going on a cruise this year. And I'm like, what is my family? Am I a Kardashian?
Wow.
Like, what is this? It was crazy.
We were poor. What kind of passive aggressive shit is that?
Yeah, I feel like that's just aggressive.
Yeah, you're right. I remember when I was around that age, because we've all been through that phase where we're too cool for school.
Yeah.
I blew my mom off in the mall.
What do you like? Your mom was like, yeah. How old were you?
10.
And she said, what? Like she took you to the mall? Like, what do you mean?
No, I was there with my friends, and then she was there, and she was like, Kevin. And I was like, what's up? Kept walking.
Hey, what's up, mom? Yeah.
Fuck. And then she told me later. When she told me later, she's like, that hurt my feelings. I was like,
I don't give.
oh. I don't know what it was. It's like you're so afraid of looking uncool.
Yeah. Of course.
You don't even want to know your own mom.
Yeah,
in the
like
mall.
as if the other kids are gonna think you're a loser because you know your mom. Like, look at Kevin. Kevin knows his mom. What a bitch. Like,
I never met my parents. I'm a foster kid.
Oh, you know your mom? Lame. Like what? I also picture 10-year-old you with like the same beard and hair and like tattoos. It's like a little miniature version.
Yeah, it was just smaller.
So fun.
Yeah.
So those kids are all shitty. They suck. I hope they're old enough to watch this. I hope they're watching it. I hope you can see me at home. You kids, get your shit together.
Yeah, get it together.
Don't be too cool to know your family. Fucking assholes.
What other jobs did you have?
I worked at A&W when I was 15.
Wow.
It was my first ever job. I walked out in the middle of a shift.
What happened?
I burned my hand. And I was like, I'm out. I'm over this.
Did you make a team burger for the walkout?
yeah. Oh, buddy burger to go. The guy next to me was doing fries, and he like dumped the fries out, but like onto my hand, and I still have a scar. You can just see it barely right there. Some discolorment here. I pulled the fry off, like and then I was like, can I take a break? And they were like, no, it's lunch rush, and I'm like, I'm out.
Wow.
And then I was like, I'm out of here. I think that's how. I mean, that was like 40 years ago or whatever. So. But like, I remember my first day at that job, and I was like watching them. They were training me, and the manager dude, got on the microphone and was like, "Will the new guy please take his hands out of his armpits, please?" Like in the kitchen, because I was standing there like this, and I was like, like dying inside. I'm like, I'm so embarrassed. Yeah, like fuck. What's next? My mom's gonna show up and I'll know her. Yeah, that was a nightmare job. I didn't like that. I think all the other jobs I had were whatever, like just not really very exciting. I worked at Sport Check when I was a teenager, and I just like stopped showing up.
I love how you quit. I love how you quit jobs.
Yeah.
I quit the pharmacy too.
I quit the pharmacy job lots of times and then kept coming back because
Really?
I was foolish and early on in a writing and comedy career, being like, I've made it. This is it. I'll see you guys later. I'm out of here. I quit, and then being like, this didn't work out. So I know better now. Now I know it's never gonna work out.
Oh,
another interesting thing. Okay, so when I worked at Sport Check, I worked with my old next door neighbor, worked there as well.
Yeah.
And he was a couple years younger than me. I think I was 19 and he was like 18 or 17. And he gave me $45 to go get him a fake ID. Like just be like, hey, I lost my ID. Can I get another one? And they were like, it was $45. But in between that time, I just quit the job and never went back. So I just kept the money.
Wow.
So yeah, shitty, right? That was when I was 19. I'm 38, almost 39 now. So go fast forward. I ran into his dad last week.
Wow.
And I'm like, hey, is your name Rob? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I used to live next door to you on Elmhurst. He's like, oh my God, Dan. I'm like, yeah, hey man. And I'm like, we started talking and chatting. And then I'm like, where's your son at these days? He's like, oh, he lives in North Dakota. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you guys like cool? Do you guys talk? And he's like, oh yeah, I talk to him all the time. I'm like, listen, I told him the story. What happened? I was like, if I give you $45, will you transfer it to him? It's always bothered me that I never gave him his money back. And he was like, are you serious? This is amazing. And then I gave him the money and I cleared it up. I got to clear up a thing it's bothered me like for this whole time. Like it pops into my head every now and then. I'm like, man, I really did that kid dirty. Like,
man,
I feel bad about it. R.I.P. that debt. R.I.P. Him maybe.
Well, I think he's alive.
We found out he's alive.
Yeah, he's alive.
R.I.P. that debt though. I just like felt bad. I ripped that kid off like hard, you know.
And you know what? He talks to his dad, so he's better than us.
Yeah. Well, hey, I talked to my dad. Like, hey, can you e-transfer me $20? Like,
$45.
I'm in comedy, so can you $45? Yeah. Fuck. Oh my God.
You just owe your dad.
Yeah. No. I just transferred the debt. My dad basically is HA. He just bought the debt. You know? Yeah.
That tattoo was his idea.
Yes. Yeah. Which one? This one?
The Illuminati one.
Oh, right. Yeah. So, that's interesting. That's an interesting part of that job. The rest of my jobs, I don't know. I don't really like. I guess I've sort of just been side hustling mostly and just working part-time now for a few years. Yeah. And the rest of the time just doing different comedy things.
Yeah.
So I'm doing lots of stand-up now.
That's great.
I'm losing my voice, sorry. And then I'm doing lots of stand-up, and then sort of got back into writing again recently. And so that's fun. That's the other thing that came from the whole Twitter thing is I ended up writing on a web series, Los Angeles-based web series about a comedian named Amber Tozer. I don't know if you've heard of Amber Tozer before. She's very funny. She has a book called Sober Stick Figure that's absolutely hilarious.
Oh, awesome.
Amber Tozer, go buy that book. It's great. I think the forward in it is Patton Oswalt wrote it.
Wow.
It's like, she's very good. Or Andy Richter, I think they both wrote a piece for it.
Yeah.
And then she's very funny. And then Mark Sayer was her partner at the time, not her partner, her work partner.
Yeah.
They were producing a show called Knit Twits that was a sketch comedy show based off people's tweets.
Okay.
And that was the first time I ever wrote a script. And I wrote a script called A Very Special Wild Turkey Christmas. It was based off a tweet that said, for us, Christmas is when Dad drinks a bottle of wild turkey and then cries while playing an acoustic guitar. We had Christmas twice last week. That's the joke. And so we wrote a sketch. Out of it. And then Stacey Orsano from Friday Night Lights was in the sketch.
Wow.
It was like the first thing I ever wrote. So it was like really neat.
Yeah.
So that happened because of Twitter. And then I ended up writing another sketch for them that was based off of a tweet that was, I wish I had a British accent so I could sound cool when I return these women's pants I accidentally bought. And then that turned into a sketch of Mark Sayer is in it. Mark Sayer is a movie producer now, and he's the studio head of a small production company called Lexicon, and they make really great films. They've won some awards for a movie called Point Defiance. It's very good. Just watch
so
it if
cool.
you get a chance.
Yeah.
He's my writing partner. We've written 9. We've worked on 9 projects together that we're currently in the middle of pitching with some production companies down south. And,
Wow.
yeah, we got some cool stuff happening. So that happened, and then also this other crazy thing happened while I was on Twitter when all this was unfolding. I had a friend who worked at Blue Ant Media, which is a production company in Toronto, works with Chorus Network closely with a lot of stuff. And he told the guy sitting behind him, who's a producer, Josh Bowen, to follow me on Twitter, and he did. And then Josh ended up reaching out to me and asking me to pitch an animated short for a show called Night Sweats that was to be on Cartoon Network and Adult Swim Canada.
Wow.
And Cartoon Network Canada and Mondo.
Yeah.
They do like Happy Tree Friends and stuff. So he asked me to pitch, and so we pitched a couple ideas around, and then I was like, how about a show called Giraffe Cops? And he was like, well, that sounds cool. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's exactly what it sounds like. And I'm like, picture like the other guys, but they're giraffes.
Oh, I love
Instead. So I pitched him down, and he's like, that's great. It just kept moving forward, and then we made it. We made the thing, and then I got to like direct my first thing, and So
I love that you love giraffes.
I do love giraffes. I just love them. Do you know they don't have vocal cords? They don't make sounds. They're that gentle.
Wow.
I know, right?
It'd be hard to be a giraffe cop then.
Yeah. I guess so.
Yeah. You can't even do sign language.
Shooting your gun in the air, but you can't even shoot because you have hooves.
Yeah. Man.
So we made five like 4 to 5 minute episodes for this show, and there was the guys who made that show are actually here in Vancouver. It's Chris Nielsen and Bart Batchelor.
Wow.
Who are very funny, awesome dudes, and another guy named Jeff Shorkey. So the show is called Night Sweats, and it had Don't Feed the Humans, World Doctors, and a bunch of really awesome shorts on it, and a Crack Duck. I don't know if you heard of any of those things, but they're all very funny. So we were on that, and that happened, and the show got canceled, of course, and it was crazy. Actually, Aaron Reed did the art corner on that show. He was on that show as well.
Oh wow.
So a lot of Vancouver comedy ties
so cool.
to that show. So yeah, that was really fun, and all that happened because of Twitter as well.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
That's so great.
Yeah.
It's from... I like that you take your Twitter seriously, like when you were writing jokes IRL.
Yeah.
2 posts, like I love that.
I kind of just treated it like it was like I got right into it, and people, I felt like, okay, well, there's like all these people are following me, they want stuff, I should put effort into it.
Yeah.
And so I would like tweet at certain times, and like it really took it very seriously, and it was really fun for like a really long time. It was super fun, and then memes kind of killed Twitter.
Twitter's still the only social media I love because I love jokes.
Yeah,
It's like Neil Brennan is so funny on Twitter.
yes, he is.
And a lot of comedians don't do the funny for free, so they're not really into being funny on Twitter.
Yeah, the higher up the comedian, the less funny they are on Twitter. Usually, this is a topic that we've talked about not putting your stuff out on there for free, but I don't know, man. If you can make jokes, if you can write those jokes, you can write more.
But also, it's only benefited you having a good Twitter account. It keeps getting you opportunities. So most of my stand up is based off of tweets. So it's kind of like I wrote jokes and stuff on Twitter and wrote all this other stuff for years and years, like probably 6-7 years before I ever did stand up. So I didn't even realize, but I was prepping for stand up for like the better part of a decade before I did it. And then when I finally was like, oh, I'm going to do it, I just went through my Twitter and looked at my most popular tweets. I'm like, okay, well, this will work, and just expanded them. Okay, I have an idea.
Yeah.
A segment I was trying on this show that didn't work was called Twitter drafts, unsent Twitter drafts.
Oh, okay.
And people would read things that they didn't actually tweet.
Yes. I
did it before, and then I go grab it.
Yeah.
I did it before, and then I realized, like, oh, you didn't tweet that because it wasn't very good. But I feel like with Dan, it's going to be good.
They're going to be bad.
A lot of pressure on you right now.
They're just going to be like half-baked ideas, but that's kind of funny.
I love this.
I think it'll be fun. All right.
I can't wait.
I'm like so curious. I feel like I don't have anything.
Okay.
All right.
What do we got? Okay, Twitter unsent drafts.
Okay.
What do we got? There's some stuff in here. There's some
I'm gonna
stuff
see
in
if
the
I have
chamber.
them too.
There's a photo that I haven't tweeted.
Okay.
That is a screenshot of a text message I got from my friend.
Okay.
About our documentary Funny Tweets, which is on Crave.
Okay.
So my friend sent me this. I'll show you guys. It just says this, and it says, me and my squad are all watching funny tweets. And then the follow-up text is, it's so surreal watching you on Crave when there's 10,000 better things on Crave to watch. Which is super funny, and is now my like banner on Facebook, because I think it's real. I was like, that's so accurate. Like, why are you watching this dumb documentary? We can talk about that after. But and then so, hold on, there's more.
Oh, can I read one?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're all doing them. Yeah, fuck, read them all. Sorry.
I don't think I have any, but you go ahead.
Here's a good one. Reality is for pussies afraid to do drugs.
That's great.
Thanks.
You should tweet that right now.
You think so?
Yeah, I like it. I'll retweet.
Is it too mean?
No, it's funny. Maybe, I guess. Actually, hold on. Maybe I'll retweet it though.
Okay, let's think about it.
Okay.
I don't know.
I have a teenage fan base for my music, and I'm worried.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a good point. Don't do it from the fake shark account.
I also have one that I know will make my girlfriend sad because she loves cats.
Yeah.
And it's curiosity has never killed a cat. You're thinking of cars.
I think that's really good. I think it's great.
Thank you.
Your draft tweets are good. Why aren't you tweeting?
They're
these?
mean.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it is? Are you worried that they're too mean?
I don't know.
How do you look at your drafts?
So you go,
I don't know Twitter at all.
Go like you're gonna tweet.
Yeah, like if you hit this, and then you go to drafts.
Oh, I don't think I have.
I don't think you have any.
Okay, so I always have a band name list going.
Yeah. Oh, I love that
all the time. So that's an ongoing thing. And then when it gets too full, I just tweet it.
Yeah.
So right now, my band name list is I've got Full On Christmas, Platonic Wife, Built for
Wife is so funny.
It's a good band name. Built for Murder, Whales Were Wolves.
That sounds like an actual.
Which came from we were on the ferry the other day with Sophie Buttle, and she was talking about how whales evolved from wolves.
What?
Yeah, which I just discovered. I found this out. Whales evolved from wolves.
Talk about this.
Yeah, I recommend it. And then the other one is Blackout Sauce. So those are my band names I have, and then I also have. Do you want to do another one, or do you have more?
Let me look.
Are we gonna keep doing this?
Yeah. Well, yours are so good.
They're not.
Yeah. See if I got another one.
I have one that says, I don't care about my friends' babies, so I for sure don't care about Baby Yoga. Yoda. Not Baby Yoga, Baby Yoda. I hate Baby Yoda. It's like becoming my brand. I hate it. No. I hate it so much. I fucking hate it. No, it's not even cute. It's dumb. I hate it. I hate Star Wars. I'm sorry. I got...
No, you're safe. I don't care about that either. I don't like fantasy stuff.
Me either.
I like movies and TV shows that are about like...
I like
someone's shitty life.
Yeah, give me your true crime dramas. Oh no, her background.
He's very cute.
He's not. Oh no, this is not.
I don't even like Star Wars.
You just like Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
You're wrong. I can't. I hate him. I hate him so much. My last topic on the Hate Locker episode that came out today was Star Wars and how much I hate it and how just oversaturated it is. And so we started talking about it, and I'm like, okay, I like the first 3 movies. And my sister was like, what do you mean the first 3? Do you mean? And I'm like, I'm gonna stop you right there. This is the problem. You know. I mean the old ones. You know, I don't mean the Jar Jar ones. No one likes
Jar Jar's the only one I like.
Yeah,
he's the only character I like.
Yeah,
I tweeted that.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, I've also got one that just says Papa John has a new ride at Disneyland called the Pizza Experience. But it's too late. That ship sailed. I
like that. The guy, what did he eat? He ate 30 pizzas in 1 month?
Yeah, so I've got this. I've also got this other one that is just a picture of him. It says, the picture where he's sweating and all that. So it says, Papa John looks like they cloned Ronald Reagan, but accidentally made him too hot all the time. That's great. Which is like legitimately what he looks like.
Yeah.
It is what he looks like.
Why is he so sweaty?
Because he just ate 25 pizzas.
That's it?
Yeah.
We're going to go eat a pizza.
Oh, yeah.
A tweet I did do about Star Wars was, no, I haven't seen the new Star Wars. I got one rule in life. No Jar Jar, no Kevy.
Yeah, that's very good. That's really, really good. But how do you know he's not in it until you see it?
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
I like how Jar Jar was supposed to be the new franchise character, the new Yoda, and then everyone hated him.
Yeah, because he was so awful. He was so awful and racist, and like everything about him was bad.
Yeah, and then so he had lines in the movie I read, and then you see him, but he doesn't say anything. So he's still in it, but they took all his lines away. How about when they reissued Star Wars, this first 3 Star Wars movies, but took everyone's weapons? No, I'm thinking of E.T. Do you remember this?
No.
South Park made fun of it. They reissued E.T., but took all the guns out of everyone's hands and replaced them with flashlights.
Really?
Yeah, they did like a bunch of stuff like that with Steven Spielberg movies.
Why?
I don't know. He went on this anti-violence thing. Can you look it up?
That's like not the right. People are so confused about what is going to work and what isn't going to work. Like you're not going to end gun violence because you replace flashlights in ET. Like that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
So in the replacement with walkie-talkies.
Stop right there.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. So on South Park, they did it. They made it so. They did it in the episode that you're watching.
Right.
So at the end, the cops shoot everyone with walkie-talkies and just bullets come out of them anyway.
That's great. That's so... Oh, man, what the hell? People do dumb shit. People do dumb shit to, like the false wokeness, the virtue signaling is a problem. This is what I always want to go to on the hate locker, but it's like not trivial enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's supposed to be like I hate when people squeeze toothpaste from the middle. Not like I hate that people are angry about breastfeeding in public. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not a trivial thing. That's like a real problem stemming from toxic masculinity and objectifying women.
I love that you have to think of all the pettiest stuff.
Yeah, man, it's like it's hard for me because I actually don't like I really don't hate.
You're pretty
things.
relaxed.
Like I'm
guy.
pretty like I'm like I get my mind changed on the podcast often. But by the end of it, I'm like that's not so bad. Everybody's just doing their best. You know what I mean? My sister, on the other hand, is like I said, a hateful bitch. Like she's really. She's not very. She gets really mad about stuff. Like our episode today starts off with her talking about Starbucks getting her order wrong and her being furious about it. Yeah. But then to punish them, she's like, I won't be going back to that Starbucks. I'm going to go to this other one instead. And it's like, and then Chris Griffin, our guest, was like, oh. That's the punishment. That's how you're like. That's how your protest to just go to a different Starbucks. Like you're not even like taking away from them. That's great. It's very on brand for her. She's a crazy person.
I love it. I love that they never get my name right ever.
This looks correct.
My name's Kevy. That says Kevin. No, I'm just kidding. That's because I have the app now. But when I used to say my name, it would just be spelled wrong or Kenneth or something just every time.
That's fun. I would look forward to that. No, people don't get Dan wrong. Dan is... I hate the name Dan. I feel like most people I know named Dan are douchebags.
That could be an episode of Hate Locker.
Yeah, I think I maybe used to be part of the problem. I was part of the Dan problem. Now I'm part of the Dan solution.
You're the reason the Dan name has been dragged through the mud?
Yes.
Your old activities?
Yeah, that's right. I think so.
I got one more question for you. Have you ever had an experience with a ghost?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I have. See you later.
He disappears. He's the ghost.
So I was not really house sitting. My friend was house sitting. I can be a little bit transient sometimes. Mm-hmm. So you travel around a lot. Mm-hmm. So I was living in this one house. I moved into this other place. My friend was house sitting at her parents' old Victorian style mansion, and she asked if I would come and live there for a couple months, help her take care of dogs. I was like, yeah, for sure, totally. Yeah. So I moved in there, and then so it's like this really old, big house that looks like it would be haunted. It kind of looks like the inside of a ship, like everything's wooden, and so it was like a really nice house. But then so downstairs in the room that I was in, there's a picture in a picture frame in a cupboard, but the cupboard was like a big cubby hole. Mm-hmm. So I specifically remember picking up the picture and looking at it and putting it back down, and it was in the middle of the cubby hole. So there's this much space, probably this much space in between where it was and the edge. Yeah. And so I was upstairs with her talking, and there are 2 dogs, and the dogs are also there, and we're just having a conversation, and we hear this smash. Go downstairs, picture is smashed on the ground. No. And so I was like, that's a ghost. That's for sure a ghost. Oh, God. Yeah, and it was unnerving. It was upsetting. There's not really came from it, but that was my experience with a ghost.
Did you feel like your privacy was being like? I remember when I first moved out of my parents' place. We had a rat problem, and I was in bed, and I saw a rat come into my room, and I was like, my privacy!
Like you've been violated?
It can come in there anytime it wants. Yeah. I feel like if you had a ghost in your house, you'd feel like, come on, man, give me some me time.
Yeah, maybe,
This is
right?
ridiculous.
Yeah, fair enough.
You can just come through the wall. This is bullshit.
And how come all they ever do is like turn lights on and off and like smash things?
Yeah.
Like, why don't, like, if I was a ghost, I would do things like I would do things like
Pranks.
turn on your pranks, like turn on your Bluetooth while they're watching porn. Turn on the Bluetooth stereo, you know what I mean? So it automatically connects to the phone, and then that's funny.
That'd be
you know
a
what
good
I mean?
short. A ghost that is a practical joker.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, that's something to think about. Something to think about. If I was a ghost, I'd get into more stuff like that. Like, just take every one of your socks.
Yeah, I think that's happening to me. Maybe I do have a ghost.
Yeah, same.
It's a ghost that just hangs out in the washing machine.
Cut the bristles 3/4 of the way down on a toothbrush, so they're only this big over and over again.
See, that's the problem, dude. Ghosts can't hold anything, so they can't hold scissors, and
How do you
that's
know
why
they can't?
ghosts are trash. That might be the name of the episode.
Fucking ghosts are trash.
I talk shit to ghosts all the time.
Well,
And then Ola Dad was on here, and I was like, I hope I get haunted. And he was like, no. He got like really emotional
I
about
don't
it.
mind being haunted. I think it's kind of all right. Like, so when I was in this house, I had to be there for like another month, and I would like straight up have conversations with the ghost. I'd be like, how's it going? I felt like if I tried to be friends with the ghost rather than be afraid of it, it would be okay. I don't know that anything else happened. Like, doors moved around and stuff a little bit, but it could have just been because the place was drafty. But the picture thing is, I'm like, yes, there's no other explanation for that. But like, I'm not one to like go to the I'm more skeptical.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, what's the reason first? Before
Yeah.
being like, it's a ghost. But
Yeah,
my sister's like, it's a ghost to everything. It's a ghost right away.
That's great.
Yeah, like anything goes wrong, it's a ghost. But
That'd
like,
be funny if you became a ghost and you're like, you know what? I'm going to embrace this. I'm going to really see what people do when they're by themselves. And then all you do is see people jerk off all the time.
that is what it would be. That's. I feel like it would
all
be.
I've learned.
I think it would
That's
be
all
a
I've
lot
learned.
of that, man. I think it would be quite a bit of that. Yeah, for
You know what? R.I.P. that ghost.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the episode.
Oh my God! Right
Dan,
on.
talk about Hate Locker. Talk about anything else you got going on.
Okay, the Hate Locker podcast is a podcast on Comedy Horror Often Network. Please listen to it. We have a really fun guests. We got some fun stuff coming up.
Yeah.
And we're doing a football-specific episode
Awesome.
coming up, which is really exciting for the football fans out there. We got Danny Kelly and Danny Heifetz from the Ringer Podcast Network.
Whoa!
Which is really
Fuck
exciting.
yeah, I love Bill Simmons.
Yes, so they're coming. They're going to come on to talk about football. I think.
Yeah.
So that looks really fun. And then please like and subscribe to our podcast, The Hate Locker. Also, our documentary Funny Tweets just came out on Crave.
Yeah. That's so
on
cool.
the 21st, which is all about everything we were talking about getting into comedy via social media, Twitter specifically, and it's a really fun documentary if you're into lighthearted stuff about a fun story about Twitter.
Yeah.
And it's got like Andy Richter in it and a bunch of writers from
So
Simpsons and Family Guy. And
Crushing it, Dan.
Danny Zucker from Modern Family is in there, and he's talking about it. Lots of fun people. So that's on Crave. You can watch it for free. If you're in the States, you can watch it on Amazon or Roku or
Hulu.
Tubi.
Yeah.
All those places you can watch it there. Or my favorite part about that documentary, though, if
Yeah.
I may, is that it was we sold it to the U.S. federal penitentiary system.
So they can watch it?
Yeah, so it's $3 a rent. We haven't got the numbers back on how many people have watched it in prison, but my dream, if you're watching this, anybody from the U.S. federal penitentiary system, I want to do a prison stand-up tour.
Oh, yeah.
So bad.
So cool.
That'd be
I would
great.
that's my dream come true. So
Yeah.
please help me make that happen.
Send this man to prison.
Send me to prison. Send me to prison, please.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome. High fives.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Comedy Here Often podcast. Thank you to Dan Duvall for being on the show. Listen to his podcast, Hate Locker. Subscribe to it on YouTube and subscribe to us at Comedy Here Often on YouTube and follow us on social media. See you next week.